on camera, I was stunned. I was like, trying in my head, I was like, is it the wind? Is it something? It's like, you try to go through the rational route first. And just as I was like lost for answer, and I thought to myself, okay lah, I'm going to go with the wind. Then the door started to open again. Hi, my name is Eugene.
My name is Raihan.
My name is Wayne.
My name is Kyle.
And this is Tales from Incredible Tales. Together with some very special guests, we're taking a look back at Incredible Tales, a horror anthology that aired on Channel 5 from 2004 to 2017. We will also be asking our guests to share their very own scary stories.
Our guest for this episode is Eugene Tay from Supernatural Confessions. Hello, Eugene.
Hi, Eugene.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah, it's good to have you here.
Nice to be here, It's like so nostalgic.
Yeah, I saw you looking around the set and everything.
Where's your EMF?
Within.
Now he trained already. Now he trained. He's on a different level.
It's good. So Eugene Tay is the man behind the widely popular YouTube channel, Supernatural Confessions. The channel is a collection of stories recounted by people with real paranormal experiences.
In every episode of Tales from Incredible Tales, we'll revisit different theme and how it ties to the classic Incredible Tales episodes.
Now, for this episode, we're looking at something a little bit different. Real-life paranormal investigating in the Ford Factory from Season 1. So the old Ford Factory sits along Upper Bukit Timah Road. Many pass by without a glance at this once dilapidated building. In the first season's finale, the Incredible Tales crew revealed some of its hidden secrets.
So this is the season finale of Season 1.
Yeah.
So let's take a look.
I heard this funny sound.
Breathing or?
It was, it's a man's voice. It's very low. And it's like coming towards me, you see. So obviously I will run, right?
Wow. This is actually one of my favorite episodes from Incredible Tales.
Yeah, because I noticed when, he mentioned Old Ford Factory, I saw a
Yeah, you like
you were like,
Very weird gleam in your eye. Like,
yes.
I think when you guys invited me down for this particular show and to show me this segment, you probably don't know my history with SPI, with Ford Factory, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of layers of stories to share with you just based on one episode alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it about the place itself that gives you that, the glimpse in your eyes?
Well, Ford Factory, when we grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, was one of the main place to visit if you're we won't say paranormal investigator, just, a thrill seeker, right? Old Changi Hospital being one of them. There's the Red House, the White House, and on the west side is the Ford Factory. And that's where the Japanese, had that signing with the British. Yeah. So there's a lot of history behind it. And because it's abandoned and it was actually a heritage site.
Yeah.
So all the more there's a lot of depth to that place that we wanted to go in and investigate. And again, back then, why I say we're not paranormal investigators, because we didn't know what we were investigating. We just went in, we screamed like a girl and we ran out. I watched this and, with the guy screaming and the girl running, I sit here and I remember very clearly how I felt then. And watching it again, how I'm feeling now. It's like, whoa, worlds apart. I guess the way to explain it is if you are not into filmmaking and you watch a movie, you watch it for the excitement, the horror. But when you're a filmmaker, you'd be like, okay, the lighting's here. I think the shadow is there. Okay, Conti problem. You're looking at all the details of the filmmaking and not enjoying it for the story itself. So that's kind of where I am now with that. I'd be like, okay, there's an orb flying by. Did anyone not notice that? Or could it be a dust? Are we debunking this? And so the guy's laughing a lot because he is scared. So I'm reading all these things. And looking back and watching this again, comparing it from now and then, there is so much more that I can do with this one scene compared to the guy who says, "Are you crazy? Haunted place?"
Yeah. But when you explored that place, right? It was abandoned. So I believe now it's like conserved and it's like a museum, right? Yeah. So why do you think that it's so haunted? Nobody died, right? Like it's just a signing place, right? Why is it so haunted?
Exactly, Carl. So that's
That's the question mark.
So when I watched it before, and when I went down to Ford Factory, abandoned, Japanese, the mere mention of the word Japanese brings to mind viciousness, death, and murder. So it is with this connotation that you think that place is haunted. But you're absolutely right. Where's the death? Where's the tragedy? Nothing. So what brings horror to the place? And as investigators now, you're going to ask this kind of questions. What happened here? Right? And I cannot answer that. I would not be able to answer why there's haunting. And when we watched this episode 13, season 1, the hypothesis was that the Japanese would come back.
Right.
I don't think the Japanese want to come back here. There is nothing in it for them to come back.
Yeah.
They didn't lose, they won. Right? It's a happy place for them.
Yeah.
But if anything at all that would come in is because the place is empty, it's deserted, right? It's a lot of yin energy. So all these homeless spirits would then come in and take residence here. So they're not going to haunt the place. They're going to try to chase you out. So if you go in and you step on their piece,
Yes.
they're going to try to scare you to leave the place.
Yes.
So not the Japanese. I think it could be any random spirits.
I'm just going to tap on that. My belief as well, back in my culture, is that if a place is abandoned, it can be anyone else's home. But it doesn't mean anyone else as in human form. Spirits. So the longer it is, it could be some spirit who just wants to rest, but we have intruded their space. Back when I was in NS, whenever we have field camp, right? My encik from the specific koi will go down to that place together with a priest and invite to do some rituals. And they say, I just came back with so and so. I'm like, oh, must do that at that point of time. Because it's not written, but it's done.
Tekong Camp 2 or Camp 3 at the Rocky Hills area.
Oh, that's my place.
That's your place?
Used to be my place.
It was an abandoned camp for some time, and I was the batch of army soldiers moving from Pasir Laba to Camp 2. So when we moved to Camp 2, one of the things we did was, and I volunteered. I didn't know what I was volunteering for. They never tell you. They say, any volunteers, you just put up your hand. So I went down and I was with the Taoist priest holding his sack of rice as he went around blessing the place. And there were 5 of them, not just him.
Okay.
Different religious heads. Yeah, so that one I can tell you for a fact, it happened.
Wow.
Apparently, there's a shrine in Pulau Tekong.
Yes.
There's a shrine that they pray to. But it's usually not the high ups, not the officers. It's usually the enciks or the master sergeants. That somehow they will be tasked to do it. Because I have a friend who works with a temple, then they do mediumship. So they were invited to bless a certain camp because that area way too much. And even then the guy who got basically he invited the deity to come. The deity said there's too much. We cannot clean it all. It will come back because this is their space. But what we can do is that we can seal it so that not too much. So and then he actually took photos of the place for me. I was like, isn't that related to a certain office? And he's like, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, so it happens, but it's not documented.
Wait, so the deity can't clear the whole space because there's too many.
Yeah.
I wonder whether is that the case for other famously haunted spots? Well, that's a very knowing look on your face. Do elaborate.
There are a few places in Singapore, not going to mention the names, famous buildings, right? Some of them have already been torn down, and some of them are still standing. So there have been many different masters who went down either voluntarily or have been invited by certain agencies to cleanse the place. And it says, cannot clean, too many. Yeah, or sometimes they can even make a pact. And this is up to the spirits to agree or disagree. And most of these haunted places, there's usually one head spirit. Even in human villages, you have the penunggu, right?
Yes.
In spirit world is still the same. Actually, the spirit world and human world are very similar. So if you treat spirits as if it's human, abandoned place, homeless people come on in, and now you tell them to get out. They're going to ask you go where?
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to go. But if the medium is high power enough, what they can do sometimes is we will erect certain shrine for you somewhere under a tree. And may you all live there, and I guarantee you we'll keep doing offerings. So some of these places, if you keep an eye open, you may find a very large shrine hidden away from public eye. That's the negotiation thing where we put this for you, you don't disturb the living in the building.
I have a question. When you try to seal those spirits in, for example, if it's too many, right? You mentioned that they seal them away. Do they get angry because you're sealing them away? Does it cause any havoc if they try to break away from the seal? And let's say, offerings should be made, but as generation goes by, people stop giving offerings. Have you ever encountered any of those stories?
There is a building in Changi just like that. So there was a deal made for the spirits to not haunt the building, and a shrine was erected. And it was peaceful for 6 years of its operation. And then, they closed, they folded. And no one took care of the shrine anymore after that. Now the entire building is back full of people, full of spirits, not people.
I think which one I know, and I think it's safe to say it's the Raintree Hotel.
What?
Yeah.
Closed down already.
Well, we'll find out whether it's safe to say soon enough.
No, it's closed down already. It's actually closed down, and I've been in that building before. Before it was a commando barracks. Yeah, so that building, quite happening. Are some of the techniques that they used back then by SPI, like the sensor, like the 7-Eleven sensor?
Yeah.
I don't think they use EMF at that point. They had like a cold temperature thing that they measure. Are they still being used by like next generation of investigators like such as yourself?
It's a very good question. I got to give props to SPI. There is no class, there's no Udemy back then for you to pick up your paranormal investigation skills. So a lot of us look towards the OGs to learn from them. And I think SPI themselves learn from people overseas. Right. Everything that you see in this show, we have used it. In fact, in the show as well, they have an EMF meter. It's just not the EMF meter that you see, the commercial one that everyone's using now. They made popular by Ghost Adventurers. Theirs is a bit more classic, black box with a gauge that doesn't light up and doesn't make a sound. So it's bad for TV. That's why. But they have EMF meter there. So in my early days, again, because ET is a personal friend of mine, a lot of my gears I sort of T-loan from him. And with the motion sensor and everything. And I'm not one person who just puts the item there and say, okay, now I'm done. I always want to find out, how does this work? Like, why would a 7-Eleven ding dong work with ghosts? There's no physical form. And ET will explain to me, sometimes spirit comes with a bit more manifestation, or maybe if a cat might even come in. So you're not putting a ding dong to detect the spirit, but you're putting a ding dong there to detect a cat coming in, so that doesn't mess up your investigation place. And then also motion sensor, because if this candle suddenly move in the middle of the room and we're not looking at it, but then when we turn around, it's like I see the sleeves of that Pontianak just moving like that so slightly. It's just freaking me out.
Win.
Yeah. We hope.
Just win.
So we want to be able to document as much of our finding as possible. So that's SPI's role. So a lot of what we do now follows what they did back then, except to set up a thing like that takes hours. Is they go down and create a very scientific, sterile environment first. Here's the temperature, here's the pressure, here's this, here's that. Let's document it down. And then later on tonight, if something happens, I have a compare and contrast to tell you something has changed. And why is it changing? Is it because of the temperature? Is it because of something? I can then remove all possibilities, and whatever that remains is an unnatural phenomenon. But today, we as an industry is not so much bothered with the science of it, because audience have no patience to sit down for the first 20 minutes, see you set up.
Right.
We just want to see the ball move. We want to see the chair fly.
Right.
So a lot of paranormal investigations today is more paranormal entertainment. It's like WWE lah. You have your, I'm sure the work is real. The athleticism is real, but it's choreographed for entertainment. And you as audience, you kind of know, but you still buy into it. Then there's also wrestling, where it's really technical skills, and MMA. There's also a demographic of people for that. So usually, they don't really cross over. Like if you like the scientific stuff, you like the no BS stuff, you're not going to go for the paranormal entertainment route. The 3 minutes TikTok video where something fly. Because you're going to go, I'm going to question that. But the majority of the people, that's enough. That's great. That's my Saturday fix.
That's where paranormal investigation still becomes a mystery that makes people want to watch it.
Putting on your Mel Gill hat, are you?
Yeah.
In a way, it's like I'm like, are you sure you see those? Because I mean, if I were to see one, probably I faint.
Yeah.
But even if you faint on the spot, is that real?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Right.
I think anything on video is going to be up for question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sharing in another episode, right? Like how like I find it very, very hard to believe in like even the technology, because how do you even prove that certain cameras can actually capture ghosts? Like I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but like the science is not there to support it.
Yeah.
So you've worked with the SPI, and I'm pretty sure you've been in many paranormal situations, investigations, etc. Have there been a situation where you come in, you have not set up the camera yet, and things has already happened?
Like hanging out with SPI, the boys will tell you 99 times out of 100, there's nothing. Even in this particular episode, they still said it's nothing. Our equipment did not capture anything. There's only reaction from human. And SPI is a lot more stringent than even myself or a lot of other groups these days. They refuse to believe in it, even if something is rolling right in front of their eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, I want to know why this ball is rolling. There must be an explanation. But I'm going like, hantu. I'm going to go for that. Yeah, but most times you would, in investigation, you would, by right, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 12-hour shift.
Right.
No perfume, no smoking, nothing. You don't want to contaminate the environment with any scent. Your equipment must be all there, and then you cannot be putting it on full charge all the time because you don't want to generate EMF. And you always have redundancy, because if one camera fails, is that technical or is that hantu again? But times where after we set up everything, we waited for hours, we were just bored shitless, we wasn't even thinking about ghosts anymore, and then things happen. They have. My most recent one, which came to as close as an immediate haunting as possible. So you see a lot of technical gadgets in what SPI did. For me, I've moved on towards more of the spiritual side of things. I would burn a kamayan, I'll put a blessed or a cursed oil to infuse the smoke with the scent that the spirits want, and I want to bring them to me. It's a very warm way of saying, I'm here, I come bearing offerings, please show yourself, right? So I did that, I lit it up, and I turned to the camera, which was on a tripod, and I have a friend behind. There's only two of us. I walked to the camera. So this was just like really just set up, put it out down there, didn't think anything would happen. I expected to wait for a while. Walked to the camera, stood down, talked to the camera, and everyone from the audience could see the door behind me start to close by itself slowly. And then I was looking behind my camera at my co-host, and he was doing this. I'm like, what's going on there? I turned and I saw the door. Boom. And on camera, I was stunned. I was like, trying in my head, I was like, is it the wind? Is it something? It's like, you try to go through the rational route first. And just as I was like lost for answer, and I thought to myself, okay lah, I'm going to go with the wind. Then the door started to open again. I was like, okay. And I look at the camera, I look back at the door, and just to confirm it, like they want to tell me it's not the wind, my friend, doom. Okay.
Loud lah.
Yeah, doom.
I just got a jump scare again.
Why?
I was so invested in the story.
Why jump scare?
From him going doom.
Oh, because your eyeline was there. I was like, okay.
As a paranormal investigator, how has things changed in terms of doing the things that you do right now as compared to maybe watching this episode?
I was not born with a third eye. I was never sensitive. I avoided haunted places and ghosts as best as I can. I watch a horror movie, sure, that's for the fear. But over time, I've generated a certain level of sensitivity to the spirits. And I think what Kyle said off camera just now is that this industry chose you, And I think I was chosen despite not wanting to be in it. I was kind of forced into it and to face whatever I needed to face. And through my own personal ordeal, I came out on the other side having more knowledge than the average person.
Yeah.
And that knowledge enabled me to help others who then came to me because of a book I wrote about my personal experiences. And that was how Supernatural Confessions grew. Giving people a platform to talk about it, having a support network. And while I don't do this as a service and I don't charge for it, there were times I had to go down to people's house because I was called to help. And part of paranormal investigation, not the paranormal entertainment that you see on TV, is knowing what it is that is haunting this place. What are we dealing with? Because if you don't know what you're dealing with, then you can't treat the problem. Then that's where you take your findings, you go to the right master, and then you bring your findings to that master and says, this is a problem I'm dealing with, can you help? And if you go down to any master with that sort of research, precision, they're not going to say no. What is the main problem with a lot of mainstream people who needed help because they are clueless and masters is that you go down, you chicken and duck talk. You don't know what you're dealing with and you're wasting time. And then is he going to charge you a fair price for his time? And if he did that, you might call him a con job because it's a business, right? So on this side, then you have people who are clueless, don't even know who to call. And they end up calling people on Google or any website, and then they get fleeced. So there's this big divide between people who are in the scene and people not in the scene. So a good paranormal investigator would go down, breach this gap, find out what's going on, tell the human side of things, don't worry, I got this. Because when you are frightened, all you want is someone to tell you, it's okay, I've got this. And that's what I really do when I go down to people's house.
Wow.
So that's the difference between then and now for me.
And it sounds a lot an awful lot like how the Warrens did it. You see, because in the States, right, most of them are either Christians or Catholics. So to perform an exorcism, there needs to be proof. They need to get permission from the Vatican. So they need people like the Warrens to prove that there is a haunting, there's a demon in the house. So basically the same thing lah. Proof the breach law. So they're scared. Okay, I get a paranormal investigation. Then they go down, they capture evidence, hard evidence, and then they present it to the church or whichever spiritual medium lah. And then, okay, so you have this, and it's up to you now.
Okay, Eugene, just simple, short precautions that we all should take if we ever choose to, step into paranormal investigation.
Okay. Do it respectfully. There are a lot of young influencers come out to challenge these spirits because they don't believe, right? These things are there way longer than you have been around. And I always borrow this from what my grandma used to say. Don't believe, never mind. Just do what the old people tell you, you live longer. And I think there's a lot of wisdom to that. And precaution-wise, I will share with you the Asian superstitious belief. When you go home, wash your feet. I don't know how that works, but I do that anyway till today.
Likewise.
Right? Before I step into my house, I still do this till today. I turn around, I face my outside of my door. I said, I revoke entry to any beings out there unless you're for my good.
Right.
You don't even have to say in those words. The intent is to say, no permission granted. You don't get to follow me in. And rules, right? Or like what Carl says, there are rules. They need permission to enter. So the whole Dracula myth about being welcome to come to the house, that's not just a Eastern European belief. That's also Asian.
Right.
And I mean, like we mentioned before, so there's house spirits, right? For each house. I think across different religions and beliefs, we believe to some degree lah, there's house spirits. And I think that will protect you to a certain degree.
That's right.
But for me, what I would do after I go to somewhere like there's quite garage, right? I will go to the ultimate safe zone, which is Mamak. So you basically anything that follow you dump it off, but you must spend at least like 1 to 2 hours there lah, like dump it off.
That's interesting. The two places that we go is 7-Eleven. And you're going to spend some time there for the energy to diffuse.
Just drop off the energy, the sense lah.
The poor people who work at 7-Eleven.
I was about to ask.
They're like, I'm just here to do a job. You keep dumping your spirits on here.
Okay, so before we go into the midpoint question today, right? I have a very special thing that I would like to share with everyone because Eugene Tay, the man himself, was actually on Incredible Tales. Like 15 years ago. He was in one of the episodes. So I want to show Eugene this episode.
What about that?
Look at how skinny I was.
Suicide note? 6 years on the force. I've never seen anything like this. This place gives me the shivers.
Can I say I love the dramatic look this way?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, guys. Wow. You know, I've not watched this. I couldn't watch it fully last time. So, yeah.
I like, you still sound the same.
Yeah.
Although you look different.
Still an investigator as well.
yeah,
just
yeah,
a different kind.
So I was cutting these clips out, right, to use. Then I was like, wait a minute, this sounds very familiar to one of my guests. Then I was like, then I texted Eugene, you're Incredible Tales? Yeah. Then I double check, I checked the credits. I was like, Eugene Tay. I was like, oh my God, we need to talk about this. We need to put this in the episode. Yeah. And I like how he's trying to investigate him. And then when the colleague was like, gives me the shiver, he still walked towards it. You could see a bit of foreshadowing.
It's like him here and now. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Foreshadowing for sure.
So can you share with us how you got a role in this episode of Incredible Tales?
I honestly can't remember. In fact, I forgot about this role until I think a few years ago, when this was on Netflix, then I started getting messages from the community. Hey, you're on Incredible Tales. I'm like, I would love to be. No, you are. And then they showed it to me. And then I recall that I did this episode. But how I got into it, who called me, I really have no recollection. But yeah, when looking at it now and how I would step forward into a haunted place, I think it's something has chosen me back then and led me on this path.
Do you think that by making a story about something that's so tragic, right, the spirit will be angry? Or the spirits will be angry?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't have it on a factual basis.
Okay.
My sense, and even what I do with Supernatural Confessions, I get a sense is that the spirits are appreciative. I do sometimes. I think last year I was going through a meditative retreat and I was, trying to do a lot of the connecting with the other world. I get a sense of appreciation. It's almost like, thank you for telling the story. Thank you for making people understand and believe in us. So I don't think I felt anything at all of an aggression or malice or feeling offended. If they did, and I've been doing this for 9 years, coming to 10, I would have stopped it long ago because obviously I'm not doing something right. But what I'm doing with this storytelling, with this putting all this together, I get a general sense that the spirits want that, the divine want that, or something else out of our human world is guiding that path and says, yes, you're doing a good job, keep up at it. Yeah.
I think we feel a similar way, right? For us, Wayne and I. There are instances where we can feel that very, very strong, that things are there on set with us. Can feel it. But I don't feel malice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key point, that we don't, whatever we feel, it's not malicious. Yeah. I think for us also, we try to find clear boundaries of what we can, or what we will and will not talk about when we tell our stories as well. And I think, it's not like they give you a guidebook like, here's what you can and cannot talk about when it comes to supernatural. So we try to err on the side of caution. And I think, we've used this word several times during the season, but I guess it's all a case of respect.
Yes.
So we try to be as respectful as possible. Like even if the account itself has been fictionalized, I think also it's a case of, just still try to be as respectful as possible about it.
Yeah. Okay, so this question is for everyone. Who are your favorite paranormal investigators? Is it Supernatural Confessions? Or maybe Ryan and Shane from Ghost Files?
Well, Eugene's on set today, so I'm going to say Supernatural.
Locally, definitely I would choose Eugene. I think he has been, he's a household name.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask me, my favorite is definitely Edward and Lorraine Warren. I think they are, the balance that they do is very well. They are not like, certain shows, right, that is they're doing it for the gram. Like they purposely go and agitate the spirit. No, I don't think they are like that. Yeah, and then it also helps that they have a very lasting legacy. Yeah.
I like how my side of it, I mean, aside from supernatural connections, of course, I actually do like Ryan and Jane from Ghost Files, just because I think between the, like you said, the paranormal investigation for entertainment and for the serious science of it, I am quite famously a coward. So I kind of do need the entertainment element to kind of diffuse it a little bit. There's a reason why a lot of my favorite Incredible Tales episodes have some comedic element to it, because I can't do straight up like, you know, scares all the way, supernatural all the way. I need something to like cut the tension a little bit. So for me, and then it might not even necessarily be Ghost Files in particular, but any paranormal investigators that have that like slightly entertainment factor to it, while still being respectful as much as they can be. But the entertainment factor kind of helps me to
Takes the edge off.
It takes the edge off quite a bit for me.
Respectful definitely doesn't apply to Shane.
Yeah. Well, at least one of them is respectful, thank you. Fearful respect.
For me, I think stories that are very close to the heart really matters.
Yeah.
Things are happening, especially in Singapore, and yours has a lot of very relatable stories to tell. So I think that's where I get really connected to your stories, and hence I'll go for that. But other than that, you know, like you mentioned, all those investigators, they do explore at different areas of spaces. I think when we are at that location, or if we live there, then maybe we could connect with them much better.
Yeah.
But locally, because you're really close to us and it's happening around us, so it goes to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, at least at this table, the consensus is clear. Eugene, number one, man.
Thank you.
As with all episodes, you know, we're going to have to wrap up quite soon. Before we wrap up, however, we end every episode of Tales from Incredible Tales with something weird or maybe dark or sometimes a little bit gross. It's called our morbid fact of the day.
Ooh.
And our morbid fact of the day is always delivered by Kyle.
So back in 2015, there was a smell-based ghost hunting tour in Los Angeles, where participants were encouraged to find infamous phantom fragrances. But this is Angmo lah. This is, westernized lah. For us, right, we said, wow, smell bro, you want to play with this kind of thing the smell is quite power and like there's different. There's the rotten smell.
Yes.
Right? Frangipani. Then got one the scent just now, the one that you mentioned, the scent.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like,
That's
what
the
are
sandalwood smell.
So I use Kamayan,
Yeah.
but I add infuse frangipani, blessed frangipani essence into the Kamayan, and that sort of powers it up.
Yeah.
So you smell that.
Yeah, this sounds like a perfume line that nobody's going to buy.
I think there was one guy who did it, the Frangipani one, as a joke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully as a joke and not a real serious business.
Designers lah, and they are like quirky things. I've seen like design book, right, with got Kim Chua one. They put the Kim Chua inside the design book. And they thought it was pretty funny.
Ha, 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 ha.
Frangipani number 5. Bring out the Pontiana in you.
No, kakak number
Bring
5.
out the kakak.
Kakak number 5. Actually, idea we could do like a fashion show. Then it's all the spirits, right? Then the kakak walk like slow like that. Then kakak in different outfit like the bicycle, the motorbike, on the leg.
I just want to make it clear that this is all Kyle's idea. I have no part in this, all right?
It'll be a sold out event. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Make sure you leave the front row empty for them, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Must use the red plastic chairs.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right. So thank you so much, Eugene, for the sharing. It's been great. It's been scary. It's been everything.
And informative.
And informative.
And informative.
Yes. So main point here is to be respectful, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of you out there for tuning in to Tales from Incredible Tales. New episodes go up on every Thursday evening on YouTube and MeWatch, and on podcast platforms such as meLISTEN, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
My name is Eugene.
My name is Wayne.
My name is Kyle.
My name is Raihan, and we will see you next time.